Hello everyone, welcome back. So today is Wednesday and I'm officially done with my first semester of university. I finished my last exam a few days ago, and for the last couple of days I've just been relaxing. I've been sleeping in. I've literally been doing nothing, and it's been really nice going from not having any sort of life and only studying 24/7 to actually having time for myself. But one thing I need to get back into are my daily habits and routines. Because of finals, I just didn't prioritize any of that, and now that I have the time, I need to get back into it, and I just want to get back into kind of like my normal life. Today I need to vacuum my room, maybe do some dusting as well, and I also need to go grocery shopping today. I also really want to get some reading done today. I am filming a reading vlog that should be out before this video. That's also another thing. I barely had any time to read over the semester, and that is so sad to me because my life is significantly better when I get to read. But yeah, those are my plans for today, and I think I'm gonna start with vacuuming my room right now. So it's Thursday today. I booked an afternoon Pilates class. I'm trying out a new instructor today actually. I think she's just new teaching in general at the studio. I have a class today booked for 3 p.m. I wanted to go to the instructor I normally go to, but it's been such a long time since I worked out, and I think the last time I did Pilates was probably the end of the summer or maybe like early September or something like that. And the instructor I usually go to is pretty challenging, and I don't think I'm in shape enough to go to that class just yet. So I just kind of want to work my way up to going back to that class. Actually, I have no idea if the one I'm going to today is like an easier class, because the instructor, since she's new, doesn't have any reviews or anything. So I'm kind of taking my chances with it. But I figure I just try it out for today, see how it goes. Usually I do an earlier class than 3 p.m. but it takes me a while to get to the studio. So I figured, you know, why not have a slower morning this morning and just take my time getting ready instead of having to wake up early to go do an earlier class. Hopefully it'll go well. I just miss the whole environment. I miss getting dressed up in my cute little workout clothes, getting in a good sweat, and it's just all full of women, so it's just like so motivating, and it just feels like a really nice sense of community there. Yeah, I just want to get back into the habit of going there again, because I mean the studio is really close by to my university, but I never went to a class because I was just so incredibly busy this past semester that I mean I probably could have been more disciplined and actually decided to go to the class in between a break, one of my classes, or after class, before class. But I always spent whatever free time I had just studying, so I don't regret it because I definitely needed to study, but I do miss it, so I'm happy to be going back again. Anyways, the plan for today, after my workout class, I am gonna go sit at a cafe and get some editing done. I also am going to do some reading. I haven't gone out by myself in a while, so it definitely feels like a little bit weird, a little bit anxiety inducing, but I know that like once I get there it's gonna be fine. It's just like the build up, like having to do something with myself. I get a little bit anxious about it, but it's fine. I know it's gonna be a good time, and that'll be my day. I'm I'm excited. It's very chill, but it's something I love doing. It's one of my favorite hobbies, just going to Pilates and then going to a cafe afterwards. I love the vibes. So it's Friday today, and right now I thought I'd just do a little bit of a self-care session. I'm not really going to be doing anything that excessive. I'm just going to be doing my regular skincare routine, but probably just gua sha as well today because I failed to do that daily and I want to start getting back into that as well. Just a little recap of my day yesterday. As you know, I went to Pilates and it was honestly such a fun time. The class was challenging but not super difficult. I definitely needed to take breaks in between, but I was really proud of myself for pushing through it. I had a great time. I already scheduled more classes for next week, so I'm just excited to continue going over the break. Afterwards, I went to a cafe. It was honestly such a nice time. The cafe itself was just so beautiful. It had just like the most amazing windows. The architecture itself was just really beautiful. The only thing though is that I really wanted to get a matcha, but they don't serve it there, so I ended up getting a hot chocolate instead. It was really cold, so I was happy to get something warm to drink. I just spent my time reading, which is just, I know I said it once, but I'll say it again. I just love reading so much, and I'm just so happy that I actually have time to read now. It's honestly the best feeling. I don't really have any plans today. I'm gonna relax. I thought it'd be fun to kind of recap my first semester at university. So overall, I'm not going to lie, this semester was very difficult to get through for a multitude of reasons. I've had some personal stuff going on, but solely academically, boy was it challenging. If you guys don't know, I'm in computer science and I had no prior knowledge of coding or anything before going into university, which I feel like already because of that I felt kind of behind, because definitely there were people in my program who were familiar with coding before. Maybe not like Java specifically because that's what we learned, but at least in other languages, and that like made me feel like already behind even though it was just my first semester. But even besides coding, like the other classes I had to take, I took discrete math, I took probability and statistics. Don't even get me started. If you've seen any of my vlogs, you know that the probability and statistics course actually was the bane of my existence. Gave me severe stress because the professor just didn't teach anything. I won't really get into it because I've complained enough about that class, I think, for a lifetime. But academically, yeah, I just found it pretty difficult. The material was just really hard for me to grasp. I feel like I had to do a bunch of supplementary work and just studying on my own to understand the concepts. Not that it's a bad thing, but I did sometimes feel like isolated in my feelings because the people around me were doing well. Like I feel like they were actually understanding things, and I always felt like I had to ask them for help, which sometimes I felt bad for because I just like I don't want to bother them. But I was really struggling at certain times, and it's honestly like so discouraging to be putting so much effort and then not getting the results you want, especially because I've been a really good student up to now, but understanding the material has never been harder than it was this semester. I felt so drained all the time. I didn't feel like I had any time for my friends, never mind prioritizing my hobbies or my routines, especially during like midterms and final season. This has always been an issue for me. I've always dismissed anything besides studying, so I've always felt guilty for putting other things before studying because in my head, like, you know, there's always more studying to be doing. Even if I really just needed to take a break and just maybe wanted to, I don't know, work out, even though working out is good for me, I would still feel guilty for wanting to do that over studying because to me there's always more time to be studying. Like if the test is not today, then I need to be studying. So just being in that mindset was really obviously unhealthy, but just on top of those expectations expectations that I put for myself, I was also feeling like I just like wasn't doing well in my classes. So that just drove me to work even more hard, which got really tiring very quickly and made me feel burnt out very quickly, and subsequently made me feel very sad because I just was feeling bad about myself and I wasn't making any time for anything that I enjoy really. So that was just a really bad cycle. So ultimately I've decided that I'm switching out of my program, which even making this decision was difficult for me to do, and I was very hesitant to do so because I didn't want to feel like I was failing. And ultimately, like, I just had to tell myself, you know what, you may not be good in it and that's why you're not really enjoying it. But going into computer science initially, I didn't know if I was going to like. I only decided really to go into this program because, well, first of all, I had the grades for it, and second of all, I just knew like, oh, computer science, you know, it's a good industry to be a part of, especially in tech since that's evolving. But clearly it's just not for me, and I'm ultimately very happy with the decision I made because the mental headspace I was in this semester, I just knew I couldn't go on like this. And then obviously knowing that this is my first semester, this is supposed to be objectively the easiest one, and I'm already struggling, I just knew that I couldn't stay where I was. And just, you know, like, it's hard because I've always been someone who associated their self-worth with their academic success, and definitely over the years I've worked on this. I've changed my perspective with school, but I felt the old way of thinking starting to come back during this semester, and I didn't want to regress. It is really hard to admit for me that like I'm not good at something, but I knew like this is what's right for me. And just because computer science isn't something that I'm good at doesn't mean I'm stupid, but that's kind of what I was feeling throughout the semester. But anyways, I plan on switching into finance as my major, but I do need to do a semester of prerequisites before I apply. So right now I'm just doing a bunch of kind of like business economics classes. I do feel like this is more meant for me because I took a bunch of business and finance electives back in CJ. I did well in those classes, so I really just want to do something that I feel like I can excel in and just feel good about myself in. But it does suck that I did have to kind of waste a semester, but I can't really change it, so I'm not going to dwell on that fact. So it was a interesting semester to say the least, but it is what it is. I can't change it. I am excited for the next semester, but for now I'm really happy that I am on break and I don't have to study, and I can kind of just reevaluate everything and just go into the new year and this new semester with an open mind, a fresh start. And I'm just really happy that I can put the semester in the past. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this video. I definitely feel a lot more rejuvenated and just like back on track after filming this. It was much needed. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video soon. Bye.